Short and maybe not so sweet. A couple years ago an old friend from high school invited me to her wedding. During the toast her new mother-in-law got up with the intention to give a speech. Now these usually go something like welcome to the family or I'm glad my son found love, etc. I'm not even going to try to recreate what she said. She started out by saying that the bride was incredibly lucky to be marrying her son and then went on a 15-minute long ramble on why her son was such an amazing, perfect person. Spoiler alert, it's because she raised him and because he respects his parents. She then proceeded to remind the bride, in front of everyone, that respecting your parents is the most important thing in a marriage. What? She also told her that now it was her job to take care of her son, just like she had taken care of him. Anyway, all the bride's side of the party just sat there stunned. Meanwhile, the mother-in-law's sister was crying because it was such a beautiful speech. Short story here. So I coach my daughter's soccer team. There are a few rules the league sets regarding jewelry and specifically earrings. Basically, rubber studs only for earrings. No band-aids covering or only rubber backing. The whole thing must be rubber. This is a league rule. About halfway through the season, a parent emails me stating her kid just got her ears pierced and was crying because she said she wouldn't be able to play. My response to her email: unfortunately, unless she has rubber studs in, she will not be able to play according to league rules. Simple, right? Multiple emails were sent out before the season that said the same. This is for the kids' protection. Her response: as a nurse practitioner, the risk of infection of me taking them out less than 24 hours is much higher than her playing with them in. Thankfully they are rubber backed and I covered them with band-aids. We will see you on the field. My reply: unfortunately, that will not comply with league rules. You can buy rubber studs from places like Claire's for under $10. That will be suitable for the league rules. So she shows up. Naturally, metal earrings in covered by a band-aid. I confirm with the ref, no dice. The mother gets all huffy as her kid starts to cry saying that it's fine. Nothing will happen. She knows what's best. Mind you, the rule was there for a reason. What I was told was that it was due to an injury in the past which ended up requiring stitches on a girl's ear, and it was covered by a band-aid too. She demands the director of the league, basically the manager, both of them show up and let her know the rules and that their child could not play in this game. They left as their child was clearly upset and crying. They did not show up to a single practice or game since then. So, instead of buying the cheap plugs and spending the 5 seconds needed to sanitize and clean to prevent infections each time they were swapped, they decided their kid just was not going to play. Naturally they didn't tell us that. They just didn't show up. Not even to the playoff game which our team won. Undefeated season. Yeah buddy. I do feel bad for her kid though. I know she liked playing, and I guarantee it was her mother refusing to use the rubber studs and ignoring the rules from the start. Coming from RMITHOLUMI_is_smart told me, my story needs to be here as well. Well, where do I start? I can't really complain about my childhood. But behind the facade some things went wrong. There are some money and trust incidents that have caused me not to keep in touch with my mother for 12 years. Context: my father always went to work while my mother raised me and my 2 younger siblings. My father was a simple construction worker and has always worked hard for his money. We talk about herniated disc and arthros hard. My father officially earned $30,000 a year after taxes and insurances, unofficially probably a little more. My grandfather had a small construction company, 20 employees, and a large house with generous property, which my parents inherited. The house was worth about $350,000 at that time, fully paid off. The story: when I was about 12 years old, my grandfather had already died. We had to sell the house. No one could tell us children why. We probably would not have understood it anyways. We moved into a small house for rent and took a vacation, which is costs a fraction of the house worth. That's what we thought at least. But as it turned out, the holiday costs were all that was left from selling the house. Of course, we liked the holiday very much and we wanted to go there again next year. My father said that was no problem and started to save for the holiday. The next year, day of the flight, luggage, packed, flight tickets, in an envelope on the table, we thought. My mother, gone. My father, visibly nervous, because my mother isn't there. The flight leaves without us. My father opens the envelope, inside a letter. My mom's handwriting. Hey, listen up, we weren't able to pay for the holidays and I'm leaving you. We were devastated. A few weeks passed. My parents somehow got back together again. Everything seemed to become normal again. My father was mistrustful, opened a savings account without my mother's knowledge. My siblings and I wanted a game console. The decision was between N64 and Sega Dreamcast. Because the games were cheaper, we opted for the Dreamcast. My father took us to the flea market so we could sell all our toys to earn money for the Dreamcast. We owned it for about 6 months until it disappeared in a mystical way. A few years later, after my confirmation, age of 13-14, to my confirmation I got about 500. It was not much, but enough to buy me a shirt that I wanted unconditionally, a Nokia 3310, and there were still about 350 left. I keep these in my room. One day I forgot my mobile phone at home. When I came home I couldn't find it anymore. It has disappeared until today. At the time the Nintendo GameCube was released I wanted to buy it from my money, so I went to my hiding place, empty. I asked my siblings if they had taken it. They would never do such a thing, but I asked anyway. They didn't have it, of course, but they didn't make any purchases that could have been made for that money. So I asked my parents. My father was completely astonished. My mother was very angry. No physical violence or anything. The money has not reappeared until today. I started delivering newspapers to earn money for GameCube. Some years later, I'm in the age of /16 now. We move again. This time an even smaller flat. Live is okay-ish. We don't have money for fun things like cinema, but we don't need to starve. Summer holidays. My last year of high school. Age 16-17. My father wants to go with us to the amusement park. My mother has no desire. She loves amusement parks. So my dad drives us kids alone. He stops at the bank, wants to withdraw money from the savings account, empty. He asks the bank how that can be. They tell him that married couples, despite password protection, always have access to saving accounts. First of the month plus third of the month. My dad's pissed off. We children disappointed. We go home. My mother is gone. Her answering machine. Don't even try. I'm dead for you. My father changes the door lock. I accompany him to the authorities and bank because he can often be hot-headed when he is nervous and we need solutions. We get many things under control. I'll learn to cook, to wash the laundry properly, to actually throw the whole household. I'm good with numbers and I'm going to take care of the finances. It doesn't look good, but we can do it. My youth is over. I don't blame my dad for that. One night, it's still holidays. I hear a cough in the garden. I think nothing of it. Then again the cough. Then again. I go out, follow the cough. There lies my mother, sleeping in the shed covered with a towel. She wakes up, sees me and leaves. That was the last time I saw her. In the following months, we get many letters from lawyers and courts about unpaid bills. My father has to file for bankruptcy. One evening, men dressed in black are standing in front of our door, armed with clubs. My 12-year-old sister was in huge fear. Reminder, my father worked on construction site. He didn't let himself be intimidated. My dad was okay. I didn't see what happened exactly. If he tells the truth, he jumped out of the car the second he saw them, grabbing a tool from work, and being a behemoth he had quite a good position to bargain. Perhaps that guys were the first warning with no intention of physical harms. We paid the debt we owed the guys. My mom tried to get eye contact with me and my siblings for some time. My sister even moved in with her when she hit puberty and had girl problems. I can even understand why my sister did that. Living with men can be rough, especially when money is tight and you are a young girl with puberty problems. Sometimes I think I'm way too hard for not wanting contact because she is my mom. On the other hand, I think screw her. She betrayed you, your dad and your siblings. Thank you for watching. Slap that like button and comment your opinion on these stories below. I'm waiting. Write that comment. Seriously. Have you written it yet? If you don't comment, you make a bunny cry somewhere. You're not that kind of person, I know. Anyways, peace out, and catch you tomorrow.